Guys, what's up? It is Doug, and welcome to another edition of Spooky Villages. And today we're going to be talking about just some odds and ends from Michael, some buildings that I'm not going to be getting into a full review here on the channel. And, we can talk a little bit about Michael's too here. I actually wound up getting a lot of my stuff in July because they had a 40% off coupon code that I saw from my friend Brett, Philly Candleman, shared it. He found it in one of the Facebook groups, the Lemax Facebook groups, and it looks like that's where everybody kind of found it. It's always a good idea, just FYI, if you're into the hobby here, and I'm assuming you are if you're watching these videos. But if you have a Facebook account, just search. There's a bunch of Lemax Spooky Town and Halloween Villaging groups out there. Even if you don't want to participate in the discussion or anything, it's a great idea because people will share those codes like that. It's just easy to find them. And also people will give away codes that they're not going to use, like their personal codes. So it's a good way to get discounts and also just see kind of what the latest is because sometimes it does change daily. All right, now let's get into some of these buildings. Not going to talk about everything, like every figurine, every little accessory, or even every building per se, but there are a few that I absolutely do want to hit just quickly. The first one I wanted to talk about here, guys, is the Bigfoot Brewhaus. This has a really, really good theme on it. It's pretty unique, actually. I'm sure there are other, Yeti slash Bigfoot, Sasquatch, theme buildings out there. I just can't think of any off the top hand. So at the very least, though, it's one that's not done very often. So, every year it seems like Lemax does another bar. And this one here is this year's version of it. Bigfoot Brewhaus is a good theme there. I like how it's got, the Yeti or Bigfoot. It looks here, he's serving some other mythical creatures, which I think is very well done. The theming is on point there. The lighting on this one, if you look at Lemax's website, you can see that it does have some cool lighting on it here, like those torches, they glow, and it does look good lit up. I don't really have anything to theme this with, and I'm already kind of over budget this year, so that's why you're seeing this and some of these other ones that I thought about getting, but I wound up not, actually purchasing myself. So check this one out. I'd imagine that eventually, because I haven't really seen a lot of this, this one talked about very much, and my stores are actually kind of picked over, but this one is still available. I have a feeling that eventually this one is going to be a collectible one for those that like this theme, just because I don't think it's going to be very popular. And a lot of times those, whenever we get, years on, sometimes those can get sought after just because a lot of them weren't made, and I doubt this one has a very long production run. Again, that's just my opinion, though. The next building is the Wicked Wigs. Check this one out. Great theming on this one. The Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein's monster, or in this one, Bride of Frankenstein. That's even rarer. I really love the theming here, though, how they do that. I love Frankenstein's monster, pretty much anything like that. It looks good lit up. This is a picture that from my friend Landon, Halloween Villages. By the way, congrats on 1,000 subscribers. You should check him out if you haven't. He's a good buddy. He's got this building here. This is a picture of it lit up. It does look good. Just be aware, as you can see here, you do have some light bleed on it, but I think the theming here, for your town, I think the theming here is very good if you're running you're building a town. I will hit these two here, and actually kind of three, because I wanted to talk about something else in the picture here, but the Creatures of the Night, the pet shop. Lemax keeps doing these pet shops every year, and I don't really talk about it, I guess, because I don't really collect it. But they do seem to keep doing them every year, and this one's cute. I love that bat that's outside, and I love the werewolf puppies. I think it's very cute. Again, this is just a standard lit house, but they're cheaper, and I know that those of you who like the pet shops, and there are a lot of folks out there that do, you're probably going to like the one this year. Again, I love the werewolf puppies. The next here is this Gothic Hills Funeral Parlor, and apologies for the signs in front of these. They were actually tacked down to where I didn't want to be a jerk and just start ripping the signs off to take pictures in the Michael store, but I think it's a pretty well-themed funeral parlor. I talked about this in the preview video of it. This one obviously could work for a graveyard scene if you wanted that. Another town, I think it really goes in a town building. I think it's cute, the detail on it, though, the closed for the party. I love that. But I think it's a nicely themed funeral parlor, and it's got an internal scene in it, which a lot of the lit buildings now, it seems like they almost all have internal scenes, or at least a lot of them do. Now you'll see below it here, and apologies that it's a little bit out of focus, but this 66th Annual Haunted House, this billboard sign, I actually did buy one of these. I really like the sign. I think it'd be better if it was a little bit bigger. I actually had ordered it online and then picked it up. This was a couple weeks ago, before I'd actually seen it. So I was hoping it was going to be bigger, but still, it's a cool lit, billboard, and I like that style. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use it for. Probably whenever I do another trick or treat village, but I liked it. I had the coupon, so I figured what the heck, and I bought it. The last thing we're going to talk about here is the creepy covered bridge. I love this accessory. This very much looks like the bridge, like Sleepy Hollow, that style. And I love an old covered bridge. They always look spooky. They look thematic. This one here has got a black cat that's crossing it, and you've got a pumpkin there. Now, theming wise, you could use this for a bunch of things, but I would love to personally use this for a pumpkin patch as like a piece of decor actually that they set up, because I could see something like this done. It would look very good if you set this up with a river, like, did a resin pour. One of these years, I'm going to start messing around with resin for water in the displays. I watch a bunch of YouTubers who use it. My confidence level is not just, it's not there yet with my skills to do it, because, the one thing with resin is it's a quick way to ruin a display. But eventually I'll use it, and something like this, though, would be great to use if you had that resin to make a little creek. Kind of small for a river, but you could definitely do like a creek under this thing. It would look really, really good. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to spotlight a couple buildings here, that I wasn't going to talk about on the channel. I am so ready to get to building my display. I've actually started mocking it up here. Can't wait to talk about that. I'm going to do one last video on this channel, though, as for the buildings for this year. Well, I say it'll be last, but you never know how that goes. I could wind up, with a good marketplace deal or something like that on a retired building. So you might see some stuff like that in here on the channel. But for the most part, I'm going to be done with the actual building reviews for the rest of this season here. But I'm going to be doing my top 5 of the year. Really excited to talk about that. I have those. I didn't really have to do a lot of deliberation this year insofar as what position to put things. The deliberation was what to put on it, because there were some really good pieces I thought that really, really grabbed me. But no, it didn't really actually take me very long to figure out what order I was going to put them in. So one of them might surprise you, I think, because I haven't really talked about it on this channel. But the rest of them probably not going to be the biggest surprise in the world, but still. I cannot wait to get to building, though, guys. It's funny. I've hit the point where I've done this channel long enough now to where whenever I get into early August, I'm always like, oh, I've been talking about these buildings now normally since like late May and doing the reviews. I'm ready to like do something with them. And this year I've talked about it, how I bought a house this year. Everything is going good for the build here. I've got my workshop set up, and I can't wait to actually get going here in building. So I'm viewing these, talking about the buildings is like, all right, it's kind of a hindrance at this point. Let me just get past it so I can actually get to working on it. So I don't know how I'm going to do that video to show off my build. Whether it's going to be some little installments or just one big one, I'm not sure. But I've got some other videos too for this channel, some candle stuff I know that some of you guys like, and maybe some other general fall ones, some interviews or some collaborations, I should say, with some buddies. So we'll see. Looking forward to it. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with my top 5 Halloween Village pieces of 2023.